Welcome to the You and Me 2 project, phase 2. This is a project that is a public art festival centered in downtown Hopewell, Virginia. Good morning again and welcome. My name is Katina Moss. I have the privilege of being your host this morning. We are pleased to present this very special project curated by Dr. Emily DiCarlo, and it is a message of love, hope, and unity centered in downtown Hopewell. Without further ado, before we go any further, we will have greetings brought to us by Ms. Ruth Johnson, who is on the school board in the city of Hopewell. And after that, we'll go more into the purpose of the program and share some more in reference to Dr. DiCarlo's vision for today. Again, without further ado, we'll have greetings from school board member, Ms. Ruth Johnson.
Well, welcome everyone. I am excited to be here and to bring greetings from the city of Hopewell, representing the school board office and other areas of volunteering that I do around the city. But we want to welcome you. Hopewell is known as the Wonder City, and we are happy to announce that we work together in unity so that we can restore hope, healing, and restoration back to our city. We are impacting the citizens physically, emotionally, socially, financially, and of course, spiritually. So you will see these types of programs throughout the year. We're excited for what we're here to do today, and we hope that you all will enjoy every aspect of it. And again, welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth Johnson, for the welcome and greetings on behalf of the school board, the Hopewell City School Board. Just to share a little bit about the You and Me 2 project. The You and Me 2 project is the brainchild of Dr. Emily DiCarlo. Give me just a moment. The You and Me 2 project is the brainchild of Dr. Emily DiCarlo. And Dr. DiCarlo she has a vision of love, hope, and unity for Hopewell, and the desire for all cultures to communicate cross-culturally, to celebrate differences, and to unify with those differences to create a healthier and happier city. We are here to live today with just a celebration of phase 2 of the project. We were supposed to be on Dr. DiCarlo's YouTube page. We did have some technical difficulties. So we are on the KMOS Presents YouTube page. We do want to acknowledge that the You and Me 2 project is funded by a grant from the Art in the Streets program with the Hopewell Downtown Partnership, and that is provided through the support of Culture Works Richmond. We want to thank our sponsors today. We are here at the More Legacy Foundation office in Richmond, Virginia. We're thankful that we can utilize this office space and hardwire into the internet for an internet connection. And also thanks to the staff at KMOS Presents for the support in this project. Phase 1 of the project, we launched about, it's 2 months ago, I think, back in December. And the mural was unveiled. And also the You and Me 2 poem was read. And phase 2 is what we're celebrating today. And phase 2, we're celebrating that the You and Me 2 project is on display now at Gun Cotton Coffee and Gallery in downtown Hopewell, Virginia. And so as we celebrate that, the display is where it can be viewed and seen by everyone in the city. As we celebrate that, Dr. DiCarlo wanted us to come today and celebrate again with poetry and inspirational words and words of hope and love during Black History Month, and also during the month we celebrate Valentine's Day. It was her vision, certainly, for the You&Me2 project, phase 2, to be during the month of February. So we do have some poets gathered here today, and some spoken word artists. And we're going to hear first from a Hopewell High School student. And by her own teacher's words, the poet laureate of Hopewell High School, if you will, Miss Ajane Pollard. Miss Pollard will now grace us as she performs an original work, I believe.
Yep. Okay, so inspired by Valentine's Day passing, I'm going to do a spoken word piece about a little crush on somebody that I just thought they were cute. So we're gonna go. Okay. Little by little, piece by piece, I hear the echoes of my feet growing louder and louder. My mouth is dry, but watering at the same time, like I had something sour. My stomach feels like it's done 10 million backflips and didn't land any of them. My heart is pounding like a drum when he's near, so loud I think everyone around me can hear. I can't wait for the day I gather enough courage to tell the cute guy at the lunch table I like what he wears. I wonder what he thinks of my hair. That doesn't matter. World War III over something so simple going on inside of me. I'm drowned with my thoughts of what could go wrong. 2 words for you: crippling anxiety. My swirling thoughts are so loud, it seems like nothing can interrupt. The bell rings. Lunch is over, and the cute lunch table guy gets up. And so do I. My legs are walking for me. I have lost all control of my body. Why am I going through so much over this lunch table hottie? I walk over to him, tap him on the shoulder. He's wearing a black and white leather striped jacket, his face constructed in this hot guy smolder. I say without thinking, I like your jacket. Where'd you get it? He says, in his hot guy voice, thanks. I got it from somewhere in the mall. His answer is so vague, the only thing I can look at him in the face and shamelessly tiptoe and drag myself away. My brain is having a free-for-all. I most certainly did not think this through. Clearly, I wasn't thinking at all. I have so much on my mind. I'm also wondering how can I think so many things at the same time? I feel like I've been staring at this boy in the face for a gazillion years. I pick up my heavy feet, go back to the table to my awaiting peers. Oh my God, what did he say? I don't know. I'm too hazy. I think I looked at him in the face too long and made me crazy. That's it.
Excellent, Ajane. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What a great storyteller you are through poetry. Wonderful,
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course.
Now we will have the pleasure of hearing from some Hopewell High School alumni. First, we have Miss Sharita Ruffin, who is studying now, I believe, at Old Dominion University. And after that, we'll hear from Mallory Davis, who's studying at Longwood University.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sharita Ruffin. First, I would like to say, amazing job, Ajane. You made me nervous, and I know it's not me. I'm gonna give you a little background about this poem. This poem is inspired from Valentine's Day too, guys. So in college, I met this person, and their name was Tanzania. And in this poem, I'm comparing her to a goddess Oshun. So bear with me. The name of this poem is called Oshun, so you say. You are truly unique, a one of a kind with a divine physique. I'm sorry for the tears that I've made you cry, and I'm ashamed that you'd ever feel the need to ponder why. But if I'm being completely honest with you, The time has come for me to tell the whole truth. The truth is, I'm scared. LOL. I know, right? The idea of a relationship or meeting my match, or how I just adore everything about you, even to your loud laughs. How I dreaded when you left me, but you unboxed this feeling that I hadn't had in years. How I adore the glow of your skin and how the simple things you say can cause so much effect on my body. How I can make love to you and feel everything. And as I listen to your melodies, I'm meeting eyes with the goddess Oshun, so you say. Well, that's no surprise. How your body relaxes my mind and your eyes hypnotize Oshun, so you say. Then draw me in your presence and may my heart, mind, and soul bask in your gloriousness. Be gentle with her as she is fragile and be protective of her as she is broken. Wrap her in your warmth as she crumbles underneath and praise the heavens for putting her in your presence, Oshun, so you say. She steps with her head held as sparks begin to fly, gazing at her body that magically glides, wondering, is there more that I could ever know? Then you meet her siblings, the queens themselves. Kenya struts with an independence that holds her crown. Zaya has an attitude that would cower a crowd. Kiki is a ruby, as rare as can be, and Destiny has a smile brighter than a bee. Tanzania is the handful, but in the end, Tanzania to me is a black diamond. Let me take from your garden, and forever I will be fed, feasting upon your meals and devouring your frame. The streams of nature take its course, only a task that you can tame. Oshun, so you say. I can detect your scent like pink sugar perfume, inhale your essence and become high. Get drunk off your liquids like Amsterdam and OJ, and handle you gently like a bouquet of orchids. Replay back our moments like that of a movie, black and white indeed, but a never-ending story. Thank you for everything. I love you, my queen. And regardless of life obstacles, we will meet again. Excuse my language, but nunca nos olvidares. Oshun, so you say. Thank you.
All over internet.
Excellent, Sharita. Thank you so much. Wow, how that work developed since you first read it to me on yesterday. You're such a brilliant writer and performer. Thank you so much for sharing. Now we're hearing from Mallory Davis, again, who is a Hopewell High School alumni currently studying at Longwood University.
Hello. Hi from Longwood. Ajane, Sharita, you guys did amazing as always. So I'm gonna read a new poem. It's very new, but here I go. Ash, like cinders. No drift from the mountains, no sway of the vine, of the memories whispered. Oh, where did the time go? The smile of fate, and I lived for a day. I see it all season. Don't mess with the wind. It might be the reason you fall. Peace is crying out to be heard. Stillness. I am the only one you've told. Of monsters and men, you give them the reason of heartaches and quiet. They hold on to the treason of loving you too much. And it's hard for you to say it back. The cracked and the lonely. There is beauty in broken things. A smile of fate, and I lived for a day. You couldn't seem to find it, so I had to go away and find it for you. The willow tree weeps, and the sun kisses its tears, telling the willow it has nothing to fear of things lost and gone, as time aches for a gentle touch when its arms are wrong, and you are still the same as you've always been. They flake off, ash, like cinders, of sinners and saints who come to save the day. They never tell you which one is which to you. A smile of fate, and I lived for a day. I reach out to grab you. I'm sorry I fell, but don't worry. I finally learned how to fly.
Mm.
That's it.
Mm. Beautiful, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to our students, Ajane, who's a senior at Hopewell High School, and Mallory and Sharita. Although you're away at college studying, you are so gracious to always come back and be a blessing to your home city. Thank you so much for that. We really,
Of course,
really
thank you for the opportunity.
it. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Now we will have some pieces by the City of Hopewell and Tri-Cities larger community, led by a performance piece by Miss Ruth Johnson.
Okay, so I have a couple of pieces today. I want to share how I began writing. I think I was like age 5, and I started writing poems and songs, and I did this all the way through high school. And when we were seniors at Hopewell High School, we were seniors and we were told to clean out our lockers because it was the last day of school. But I felt like when we had to come back to rehearse for graduation. So I said, okay, well, I'll just wait until we get back this evening to rehearse for graduation. Mind you, I wrote poetry from age 5 all the way up to my senior year in high school, and songs. When I got back that evening, the locker was cleaned out. So all of my writings from all of those years were gone. And it was devastating for me. So I did not write for a while. I wrote songs, but not poetry for a while. And then during my Christian journey, I returned to writing and compiled some of the things that I had written from that point on into this book. Oh, you can't see it. It's called Silence Speaks. It was written a few years ago, and it was a book written to encourage those who were disappointed through some of the church hurts and pains and just their beliefs and lack of trust in people. So to restore that and to remind them that our trust is not in man, but in God. So I want to start reading with reading from one of the poems in the book. It's a fun poem, so I'll start with that. Before I get started, though, I just want to tell the students, and I've been following you for a few years now, you guys are just like the bomb. I could never do spoken word. I can write from now to forever, but how you all bring forth the poetic spoken word is amazing to me. So you all encourage me, and I'm thankful for you all. So here we go. This is the stuff I am today. For God has promoted me into a new state. Yesterday's man no longer exists, for I am ever changing right in your midst. Arise, O self, a new day has dawned. Yesterday's regrets I no longer mourn. I have tomorrow memories to make today, for there are lives that I must touch and possessions I must take. Gone forever are the ifs, the buts, the I wish I had, the sorrows, the tears of yesterday's past. This new state I am in gives me victory from then, for it has been stated and even recorded that I win. Likened unto caterpillars turned butterflies, the new me emerges, the old me dies. I am spreading my wings and I am on to the new. How would I ever know what it is? How would I ever know what is in me if I never try and do? This new state that I am in is such a peculiar thing for me. Each day I get a new chance to be all that I can be. Wow, I am going to enjoy this internal venturing around, coming out of the state that I am in and entering the state of I am. That's that one. And this one, I wrote this week as I was thinking about what I would do today, and it's called Legacy. So here we go. Historically speaking, what will your legacy be? It starts right now, this moment, this day. Will it be the perpetuation of history past, of superiority versus inferiority, of hatred and shameful misplaced authority? Will you stand in strength or weaken to majority? What will your legacy be? What will your legacy be? Will you stand with wrong, though convicted by right, witnessing mankind deterioration at the hands of your might? Or will you stand on the side of justice and equality, exchanging the injustice for truth and isopolity? So I ask you again, without apology, what will your legacy be? What will your legacy be? Will it tell the story that you bannered the belief that declared the independence the preamble speaks, intertwined as a people with a genuine passion to rebuke every element of tyranny and oppression until every man has his rightful possession of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? What will your legacy be? That's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Miss Ruth Johnson. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know what you mean you can't do the spoken word. I don't get, I mean, you have all the performance shine, so I'm not quite understanding exactly what you meant by that, but okay. Now we will hear from our city treasurer. I hope she's ready. Joan Gosier, who happens to be a poet as well. There she is. Hello, hello, hello. Great to see you this morning. And I know Dr. DiCarlo would want me to say that you are her muse for this project. And she couldn't wait. We couldn't wait to have you to be a part of the performances, especially for phase 2. And so thank you so much for sharing the opportunity of the Arts in the Streets grant with Dr. DiCarlo so that we could all end up being here today. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Joan Gosier.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here and honored. I don't take any credit for that. That was the Lord. That was God. When we were planning, it dawned on me that Dr. DiCarlo was in a unique situation and we needed to celebrate her for her birthday. And so I was just gathering different things that put in a bag, like a little goodie bag. And I had come across that grant information and I just stuck it in the bag. You know, I just folded it up, put it in there with all the other little items. And I never said anything to her. I didn't say, here, you should do this grant. So that's why I don't take any credit for it. I just put it in the bag and God inspired her to not throw the bag away. She could have left it and put it in a corner somewhere, or she could have just discarded it. But God provoked her heart and her mind to pick it up, read it, and she ran with it. So I keep telling her, don't give me any credit. That was God that pushed you into this result now. Okay. My name is Joan Gosier. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful daughters and wife of Thomas Gosier. And I began writing just sort of like with Ruth, as far as I can remember as a little girl. I've always journaled. I kept diaries starting right after my father's death. It was a way for me to heal. I was about, I always forget how old I was. I think I was like 12 years old when my father passed away. And I began keeping a journal. That journal grew up to a book called Cotton Picking Paycheck, a 21st century journal of escape from slavery. What I mean by that is it started off as my journals from when I was a teenager, suffering with depression from losing my father, until 1988 is part 1. Part 2 goes from 1989 until today. You know, I'm continually journaling and reflecting on life lessons that I want to pass on to my children's great grandchildren. So the scenario is sometime in the future, they won't be books. Maybe we won't have Zoom, you know, whatever we may not have things that we have today. But at any rate, I want my children to know the things that happened before me and the things that happened during my time. And then they can take the baton and go the rest of the miles. So the first thing that I want to present is the poem, Cotton Picking Paycheck, that my husband and I wrote in 2001 when I left my 6-figure corporate career to become a housewife, basically. And then the second poem, well, not really a poem, but it's an opening to the book. It's a riddle. And I explain why the book is called Cotton Picking Paycheck. And the third thing I like to share is my most recent, as a mom of an 8-year-old. So I have an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, and now an 8-year-old. I wrote the poem when she was 2, and it was about returning back to being a housewife and how important it was for me to spend my time wisely, watching her grow up and not and giving her a clean slate, clean sheet, so she could, be as great as she possibly could be. So I'll start off with Cotton Picking Paycheck. Cotton Picking Paycheck by Joan and Thomas Gossier, January 2001. Massa, I'm tired and I feel like going back home. So just give me my cotton picking paycheck. Please let me move on. Massa, I know you done gave me these big stock options and I have to think of them loans, but just give me my cotton picking paycheck. Please let me move on. Massa, I know my friends have lots of envy as they hit your corporate website, but Lord, you know that diversity data ain't even right. Oh, Massa, I know my family is proud as they brag on this old business card. But Lord, you know that to stay in management, it should not be this hard. Massa, I tried so hard to work these fields of cotton, just trying to make it up on the executive floor. But now, just give me my cotton picking paycheck, because that's all I'm here for. That's it. Why is it called Cotton Picking Paycheck? Well, my story began with a few questions that are important to address from Jump Street. What slavery did I journalize and escape? At the turn of a new century, I escaped from a life of corporate chaos. On the morning of my first work day of the new year, I called my director of sales and resigned. Why did I do such a thing? Why did I leave a steady and predictable 6-figure income at age 32? I decided that the struggle with financial bondage and corporate political agendas were slowly killing my spirit and my purpose in life. What was my thought process and what was my frame of mind? I boldly decided to listen to my inner wisdom, to take control of my life, to focus on my destiny, and to pursue my dream. I had to free myself from the constant harassment on the job, the subtle and the blatant game playing, the dumb power plays, my constant complaining to friends and family, my constant pleas for help from the HR department and so-called sponsors, mentors, and my constant fear of being set up to fail. The book was an attempt to pass on my wisdom gained to assist other African American women in their pursuit of economic, social, political, and spiritual freedom. I once was asked, has race and ethnicity impacted my life to date? How have I formulated my views on the world as an African American woman? As I look back and reflect on where I am now and where I've been, I know that my cultural affiliations give the most insight to my path of developing this positive self-concept. This same self-concept gave me the inner strength to escape from the life of slaving away to get a cotton-picking paycheck. I will share my lessons learned from the 1970s into the 21st century. Okay, so the riddle is, why did the slave escape and then return back to the cotton field? And the answer is because she couldn't find a good paying job. Okay. Next is the poem that I wrote about staying at home with my, like I said, at the time she was 2 years old, now she's 8, and she just gives me such joy. I call her my little shadow. Blank sheet of paper. One of the most powerful tools for a creative and brilliant future dreamer, leader, and achiever is a blank sheet of paper. There are no lines to confine, no colors to blind, No distractions of mine, no lies to bind, no dirt to turn off, no smell to make cough, no words to confuse, no images to reuse. Blank sheet of paper. Blank is key, white to see, priority to be, home with me and free. I feel the urgency. Those are my 3 pieces. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've never shared those verbally except for Cotton Picking Paycheck, but the intro to the Cotton Picking Paycheck book is actually a series. So the second book part of the book I'm writing now is called Push Excellence Until It's Normal.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a blessing to hear your brilliance, Joan. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And I know that you're not going to take any credit for Dr. DeCarlo, as you said, you being her muse, as she would say, but I know it is definitely who you are to share. It is in your nature to share. It is in your nature to inspire. And that's a big part of God's gift of you to us. So you definitely could have not put that paper in there, but you chose to as well. So definitely God working through you and inspiring her. But we do want to honor you for just how you always share and how you always are in tune to inspiring others toward greatness. So we thank you for sharing today. And we thank you for the beauty and brilliance that you brought to this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we are very privileged next to have someone from the larger Tri-Cities community with us today. Here in, I'd say, the studio, if you will. Mr. Storytime is in the house, and Mr. Storytime has a story. So I am working out these various views here. Are you all seeing me on the screen currently, or Joan still?
I see you.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Hey, Vitamin.
Hey.
So without further ado, I do want to introduce Mr. Storytime. And I believe he is going to grace us today with his story encore, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to get out of the view and share the screen here with a friend to the arts, poetry, and storytelling scene centered in Hopewell, Virginia. Mr. Storytime.
Good morning, all. How are you doing today? It's wonderful to hear the work that all of you have been doing, and it's so great for this venue to make yourselves available. I've made myself available to share a vignette. A vignette is just something to focus on briefly. It's usually less than 1,000 words, but this is my vignette called Encore, and it was found by a woman who had lost her boyfriend. She executed him, not literally, but she exited him out of her life. And she was going through her mail and she found this in her mailbox. Encore. Enjoy the truffles. Those are the second best I've had. The best ever are the ones made by Godiva Chocolates. I haven't been keeping track of your moon time lately, but its remembrance brought me back to the first time we met. Lightning struck. Although we attempted to wait the Steve Harvey suggested time before becoming intimate, we danced, we talked, we drank cocktails, ate food, and we did it. Seems like a slower walk than we were used to. That's because it was. But Cupid and his diamond-tipped arrows had hit the mark. And your tender, hardened heart gave in to the idea of a relationship with a preacher and Santa Claus. When you told me your son still wonders who played the part, of Santa Claus, I was still thrilled for him and remembered the joy I saw in your face, despite the many obstacles you and he had endured the first 4 years. It was perhaps the first of many brought to him and yourself. I am my mother's codependent image in a male, a boy, a man, and a seasoned older guy. I have learned I fall in love with a person's neediness and see the package it comes in as coincidental. The wannabe hero within gets busy before my reason kicks in. Perhaps it's a trait of maleness that passion for heroics comes before sensibilities and blinds a guy from what is plainly as obvious as the nose on one's face. We men are not as logical as women, and we get lost in our feelings and the expectations we assume another person has for us without even discussing them. We humans are not good at monogamy unless we commit and renew our commitment regularly. You and I have endured the issues of commitment to ourselves, to others, and we've survived. Reflectively, I think we have a conflict when it comes to our agape and erotica concepts. This is not a judgment call, and I don't believe conflict is an impediment to relationships. No one agrees on everything, but we do have a wonderful thing for chocolate. Of all the others we have shared our intimacy with, for our individual reasons, the encore I have always wanted is with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Storytime. Absolutely. I hear something different in that story every time I am blessed to hear you read that vignette. Thank you so much. We are really blessed today to be here, to be a part of phase 2 of the You&Me2 project. We'll talk more about the project in just a few moments. We are really blessed that as a First Friday Freedom team, as a team of artists who have a First Friday open mic that is centered in downtown Hopewell. Yours truly, Katina Moss, in addition to Vitamin the Student Teacher and Real True Poet, an endeavor that we just celebrated 2 years earlier this month. And so as a team, although we don't have a team piece today, as individuals, we will share. And as a surprise to our host, Vitamin, I actually do have a couple of pieces that I'm going to share today. So they're very short pieces that I don't know if so much inspired by Valentine's Day, but definitely inspired by different moments in my life as we have explored life and living. And the first piece is called Revival. Gentle nudges like sunlight, penetrating cloudy skies, probing questions, guarded answers. Why? Love left last year. Hadn't been seen for a while. Somebody said, that's not my style. Some jokes mean hurt folks. Probing questions, guarded answers. Try. Love is near. Don't worry about last year. Somebody said, that's my style. Some jokes mean healed folks. Probing questions, freedom answers. Sky, love is here. And my second piece is called Another Time, Another Place. This verse is for love. Carried away, lost somewhere between him and you, everything he is and everything you are. Prayers flow like tears to the reservoir, full of purpose and possibilities. Was your heart longing too? You scanned life, and I was there, smiling, courageous, afraid. Press into the improbability of truth, love, patience, incapable of more waiting, an invitation, a smile, a glance, a conversation. Newness begins. Something else ends. Time, love, lost in you, shipwrecked. Oceanic waves crash and cleanse the premise of my soul, light. Fixtures and suppositional truths flow like camouflage to hide the context of this verse. A dream, wake me only to say I'm there. Where? Another universe. I'm so glad to have been able to share with you today. And it's my privilege to pass the mic to a Vitamin, the student teacher.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you did a couple pieces, Katina. Peace, good, beautiful people. Thank you for being here and for having me. It's always a pleasure and an honor. So, just to, since everyone is sort of on the love theme, I was like, well, let me dig in the crates a little bit. I similar to Miss Ruth and someone else, I think Miss Gossier, who spoke about how long they've been writing. I can trace mine back to the age of 7. And I started writing short stories and poems and music at that age. And it was kind of just in and out of each. And I wasn't very social as a child, which probably doesn't ring true to people now, but it's still the truth. I'm really not that extroverted. I hold my own, but it's always been my favorite go-to pastime, and so I love it dearly. So anyway, since we're on the love theme, I just thought I would pull up one that some of you have heard. Let's not talk about love like they do, like we've been taught to. Like it's just what comes next now that we've done our due diligence and decided we rank high enough on each other's compatibility tests. I guess I just don't want to treat love like the end game. Like all we got to do now is not be alone for the rest of our lives, since this life is such a temporary high. They're doing it all wrong, you know, attempting to define it when by definition is limiting, and I can go on and on about you. So I don't want to talk about love like they do, with third parties and the government and the business, with appropriate assimilation when this is all just a simulation and none of this even matters if we're all just matter in a petri dish. With suburban idealism imprisoned by white picket fences and white picket privilege, we don't even have the bandwidth to concern ourselves. We just read the binary code in tandem. We just talk and cast spells. We hella random. Speaking so sweetly in between our tantrums, bleeding and drinking from each other's wounds, healing them somehow. Every affectionate remark is our vow. Every angry retort is our vow. We don't do holidays. We do right here, right now. We are ugly honest. We are not promised, and we know that. We exist inside the cosmic blowback of the ancient universe expanding. We glisten with stardust perfumed in robust coconut and clove. Some kind of alchemy pouring slow into the spiral of Fibonacci code 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 24. We are light years before some Jones. Some trivial itch they get when they think they can out Adam and Eve us, out Shango and Oshun us, Olodumare. Tell them we are antebellum, and long after their love dies in divorce or discontentment, we will still sanction Sankofa, gather the griots, saturate the seeds, and transfer as energies do. I'll do one more. Thank you, guys. I'll do one more. It's probably a lot easier not to talk about it. A lot easier to look the lie in the mirror, kiss the reflection of falsehood on the forehead, wink at the washed out shadow of self and promise to be better tomorrow. But today, I am representative of all the ideals that are only unreal because I won't let them. I recognize that I upset the balance when I don't check them, when I show up in my mask, made of glass and just dying to get my face cracked when I fall short. Because I will fall short of someone's expectations. I will not be everyone's cup of tea, so I'll read your mind. Let's have green. When my blend is really more mint and hibiscus and ever so ginger with rose hips. But you should know this. You will be too much for some people. Those are not your people. And when I learned this, I stopped being apologetic for being too loud or when I get nervous. I started apologizing to the other person when they deserved it because, well, they deserved it. See, accountability is a human condition. We're so self-absorbed, we don't feel past personal gain, but we think about it. That thought goes on a leisurely drive, actually, turns right on compassion past the store with the sign flashing empathy for sale. Bells left on logic instead of keeping straight toward the school, you know, the school of wise and dumb, because that street has too many buses full of good intentions and just so many speed bumps. So we drive on and on and on, all these detours instead of just being accountable for yours, of course. But when's the last time you genuinely said, I'm sorry? Looked eyes in the eyes, made the goal to do better and grow even a little bit. When's the last time you admitted you made a poor decision and fixed it? Is this thought on that leisurely drive now? Low on gas, but refusing to stop at that accountability station and just put 5 on it? Don't overthink it. Who doesn't need to gas themselves up from time to time? But when the passenger in my car won't put in on this and we get stuck in the middle of nowhere, fighting amongst each other about what's right and what's fair, when what's clear is that you had no intention on refilling the part of this accountability that belongs to you. Now I got to come out my bag and do it. Not once, but every time, until I've enabled you to never have to spend a dime, and now daily. You get to look the lie in the mirror, kiss the reflection of falsehood on the forehead, wink at the washed out shadow of self and promise to be better, what, tomorrow? But today, you Uber. Thanks.
Wow. Vitamin, the student teacher, everyone. Vitamin, the student teacher. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We really, really appreciate it. I'm going to, wow. I'll gather my words. Thank you so much, Vitamin. I just want to always let you know how much we appreciate you and the love that you bring to the community and for all you do for the students, for First Friday Freedom, and therefore for the Hopewell community. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here today and gracing us with your love and beauty and art.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll have the third part of our First Friday Freedom team. And we're so grateful that he was able to be here today. Real True Poet, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Yes, Dr. DeCarlo, Real True Poet is in the house. Here he is.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Just getting off, but good morning. You and me too. That seems to be the phrase, but it is true because you and me too are two people that have taken a path that has taken a little curve, but we still people. Dreaming of a day when days can't not be longer, kneeling, hands raised. We've been too far to give up now. You and me too have the same story. It's true. Yeah, visually, we are beautiful as ever as we can be, rooted in a connection that hasn't been too long, whispering into the ears of those that think twice before they walk into the language of those disrespectful to the legacy that has been laid. We understand greatness. Yeah, you and me too. We understand realities. We understand what love truly is. We understand when you can hear the heartbeat that the cricket stands up and it talks languages to the ants so that we can build a better community. You and me too. We seem to be more alike than different. And all we have to do is embrace it, showing the realities in which we see when words like I love you is not foreign, it's genuine. And it's taken in easily without a thought, because we kings and queens, yeah, you and me too.
Thank you, Real True Poet. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here today. We know it was quite a bit. You just getting off from work and everything just a couple hours ago, but you still made your way into the Zoom room. I know that you would do everything you could to help Dr. DeCarlo celebrate. I know that you have a bunch of love and respect for her and her work. And so we appreciate you being here. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
It's like a river forever flowing in a room that few have came to remember. I can remember looking when something inside me says to choose you, because with you, that's when life truly begins. Now the question is, who wins when rice is thrown into the air to seek out some dreams to house them? The bells is rung and still no one has walked in. Man, it's heart stopping just to hear you speak. Plus, week by week, this addiction has grown, not alone with a little desire and just a hint of infatuation. Either way, what's driving me crazy is you. And it's easy to see, because from this day forward, I promise to keep salvation held up high so that I can honor you as life first intended. Now I admit, my soul dances off every verbal aspiration that is uttered through your physical existence. And as I look into your eyes, it is at that moment I realize what is missing. Indeed, your hand is taken, but it's quite obvious your soul is crying out for something spiritually able to help you to reach a higher plane without physically touching you. And I know it's quite much, but believing in yourself is the true start. Truly, I believe in the two hot sparking feelings I thought was once lost the moment I entered into this unnatural system. But to my surprise, I met you, a strong queen. As strong as 10 African queens who coming together, we dream about forever. But when I look into your eyes, I think I see forever.
Thank you, Real True Poet. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for the love. Thank you for that additional piece there. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, the star. She doesn't like to be seen that way, but our two feature artists, Dr. DeCarlo as poet and Miss Carrie Flowers as the muralist. Now it's time to hear from Dr. DeCarlo, and she's going to recite again the You and Me Too poem for us. And then we're going to hear from Carrie Flowers, also, who's going to speak to us about the mural and about what her inspiration was in bringing into visual form Dr. DeCarlo's vision for the You and Me Too project. Dr. DeCarlo, are you there? Where did Dr. DeCarlo go? There she is. Okay. Unmute yourself, Dr. DeCarlo. There we go.
I am super, super, super excited today because I get to fellowship with the people who are here with me on Zoom, and I get to share my love, my joy with them, but also with the world, with everyone who's going to even see the follow-up video that's going to see it on YouTube. I'm just so excited about that. With the technology that affords this possibility, it is just so real. Like I can taste it. It's amazing to me that technology gives us that privilege to connect with people all around the room. And I say the room, meaning the world, because the world is a large, large room. It has the space to hold all of us, no matter what color, no matter what creed, no matter what religion, no matter what your national origin is, there is room, there is space for all of us in this very, very, very large microcosm called the world. Now, I want to say before I go into my poetry, I want beautiful you all are, how my heart is touched by each of you. I want to tell you that your words capture me, but set me free at the same time. And when I heard True Poet, I was amazed. I wanted to just reach out and hug him for You and Me Too. And the way he did that was just so captivating to me. And so I applaud you, real true poet. I want to say real true spirit. That was almost coming off my tongue. You are a real true spirit. And I want you to keep writing, sharing your words with the world because they need your light and your love. And to you again, real true poet, I want to say that poem that you wrote, the second one, oh my goodness, I said, he wrote that to me. And Katina, I'm sure you were saying the same thing. And the others were probably saying the same thing, but that's how poetry is. It speaks to the hearer in the hearer's own way of receiving it. So I received it in my way, like it was for me. And I'm sure that each of you received it in your way, like it was for you. I am so glad that Katina Morris Presents has collaborated with me, the You and Me 2 project, to just promote it, just to share it with the world because it needs to be seen. It needs to be felt and embraced to bring us up to that level of unity and cultural equity that we all belong. Now, the poem, I wanted to do a couple of poems if you all will allow me. Can you still see me? Can you see me?
We can't, we see just your name. Are you on your phone? And that's why
I
you have
am, and I was going to my page. I thought that maybe I could do, because I have everything in my docs. So I thought that I could still be seen and go to my docs at the same time.
if you want me to, if you need to stay like that, I can share my screen and I can share the picture of you
Okay.
standing in front of the mural. How's that?
Okay, that is, see, you are amazing. Absolutely incredible. I want to do a couple of pieces before I do You and Me Too. And the reason is because these are poems that I have shared with people in nursing homes. I travel to nursing homes and I share poetry with the residents to uplift them. I do different things, different poetry for different populations. And sometimes I'm with children, other times it is with seniors and other members of the population of the world. So this one is called See It. Look around and see what you see. There's so much life in this room. Everybody's breathing. Not one of us is untuned. There's beauty all around us because it's within. Each of us has our own private gardens lying above our chins. For our world depends on what our eyes see. We can behold the beauty or the beast. If our souls are clear, we'll see sparkling crystal waters, golden arches, and sunbeams. For reality is in the eyes of the one who looks. The deepest in the power is in the hands of the seeker. If you search, you will find it. The diamonds in your own mind. The fragrance of miracles in your nostrils, the music of angels dancing in your ears. All of your imaginary troubles pale at the sound and quietly disappears. The universe is really no mystery if you only open your eyes and see it. And now the other one I wanted to do is very, well, I call it, it's like a story, and all of my poems are. They are stories. They tell stories of hope. They tell stories of inspiration, stories of power, stories of peace, so many stories to tell. And that's what my poetry does. And I want to share this one with you. It's very, one of those stories. It's a funny type story. It's called The Real Story. And I just want you to smile a little bit this morning. The real story. I know that when you were little, you heard the stories about all of these fairy tales about Humpty Dumpty, little boy blue, come blow your horn, Goldilocks, the old lady in the shoe, and so forth and so on. But I came to tell you the real story about these folks. For one thing, Humpty really didn't fall. He was pushed by the dish and ran away with the spoon. And if you think that's a joke, you can ask some other folk. Question Mary, quite contrary. She'll tell you she has all of her ducks in a row. But don't ask the old lady in the shoe, because she has so many children, she doesn't know what to do. And Jack Sprat, he's so mean. The true story is that he didn't feed his wife. That's why she's so lean. And everybody talks about Jack and Jill going up that hill to fetch a pail of water. The truth is, Jack gave Jill a nudge because he was holding a grudge. Little boy Blue saw it because she said there was no water. It was fudge. Well, you don't have to believe me about all of these people, but just think what you've been told is like describing the church, leaving out the steeple. I just wanted to tell you the real story. The part that's juicy, but the inside information is that what I told you, It's just fairy tale gossip, and there's really no truth to it. Thank you. I wanted to share that with you this morning, just to give you a little laughter. And I want to do a real one, if you all will allow me, because in my journey, or on my journey, a lot of things have happened to me, so many things at an incredibly young age, and they made me. I lost my father very early. I took care of him until he died. I was a little girl putting water on his head with a rag. I just cleaned his fingernails, even though there was no dirt, because he wasn't working. He was ill. He was on his path to heaven. I remember that. And I remember so many things. I grew up actually with polio that made me so strong. I thank God for it. So many, many, many things. And then the most devastating thing happened to me in 2018 with the loss of my daughter. She was killed by a policeman, as some of you know. But as this poem will tell you, I'm still standing. And I want to share that with you. To those of you who think that you're just too weak to make it, you might feel alone and you might feel cold sometimes. But just know that this road is meant for the people who stand. You will be able to make it. Your heart might cry sometimes, but you'll still be standing and you'll still be okay. I want you to know that. That's my message to you this morning. Still standing. Though knocked down, I'm still standing. Through the fire and the mud, no, I still crawl. Through the valley and the shadow, I still walk with both hands up. I still surrender to the power of God. For though the winds may chill me and the rain dampen my cloak, I'm still standing. I won't sit down. Though my back may be sore, bones hollow, my heart crying, I will burrow through the tunnels and mountains that shout at me, telling me to be still. With my soul facing the sky, my spirit remembering my ancestors, light beams shining on my path, I'm still standing with my letter from God, my Bible in my hand, my mind concrete, can't be broken as I see the evidence of the Creator, the birds praising the sun rising, the dusk obeying his call into darkness, the stars signaling secret messages to the moon. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. And then you and me too. I wish True Poet had written You and Me Too, because he did that. I love the way you did that, Real True Poet. But isn't it beautiful how poets can tell a story and make it their own, can use the same words as the title, and yet own it as theirs? You and me too. No matter who we are, red, yellow, white, brown, or any hue, I'm still me, and you are uniquely and beautifully you, with just the right shape of your eyes, the thin or curvy bend of your lips, the long or short of us down to our fingertips. Whether your chromosomes are X, Y, XX, or any other alphabet, whether you like the sparkle of mornings or blossom in the calming cocoon of sunsets. We can put our differences in a bubble, a circle that never ends, a haven for all of us called friends, where all our hopes and dreams and teardrops melt and blend. where we nestle together in a calming embrace, in an eternal and sacred space, Christian with shades of royal blue in the heart of each of us, for you and me too. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. It's just beautiful that I am here with you all today. It's just amazing to me. And it enriches and enlightens me. Just to know you all, just to see you here today with me. And I say see you because in the spirit, I see you, I feel your passion, I feel your truth, and it is just more than gold to me to be with you. Katina, you are a star in this universe. All of you, I may forget somebody's name, Vitamin, Joan Garcia. I might forget some of your names, Carrie. I love all of you, Mallory. I think Special K is here. It might be Aunt Janae, maybe who I'm thinking about. Real true poet, the storyteller, Mr. Storytime. You bring joy to the universe. Keep shining, my brother. You are a bright light. And I just want to say that we will continue this love, this passion as we live daily. I just like to stir it up sometimes with events, stir it up sometimes in my sermons. I am a licensed and ordained minister. I am an evangelist, but I live it every day. It's not just a fragment, you know, it is who I am. All of these things coming together, making a whole. It's me. And I love sharing that with all of you in this universe, all of you on Zoom, all of you in this room. God bless each and every one of you. And I do want to say one more thing. Well, really two. I want to say I appreciate the artist, Carrie Flowers, who is just a delight. She actually is quiet and shy like me. You wouldn't think so. But I'm really, excited about her being a part of this collaborative project. And as some of the younger people say, she felt me. They say, "Do you feel me?" Well, she felt me, and she understood exactly what I was trying to convey. It was like she had a telescope looking into my heart, and she could see what I wanted to project and share with this project, You and Me Too. And she put it on canvas like the true artist that she is. She amazed me with being able to capture my thoughts. So I am just so excited about that. And then my muse, Joan Gazier. Thank you so much, because Joan Gazier, you are a treasure. You are not just the treasurer of West Virginia, but you are our treasure. You share so much with so many people. You gave me that flyer, and you give thanks to God, and I do too. But the thing of it is, you allow him in so many instances to use you, to promote, to inspire, to push. You were the one that suggested that I call Katina. I think Katina beat me to it. But Joan was the one that said, you need to contact Katina. This was after the project had been written. The proposal had been written and approved. But I was telling Joan that I had received the grant, and Joan said, you need to call Katina Morris because she can collaborate with you. And I am so glad. So you all see why she is my muse. And Even though I'm older than her, she is a mentor to me. And I'm an open person. And I don't say, well, that person is too old to mentor me. That person is too young. I get mentorship from so many things. I can see a TV show and get mentored. I can read a book and get mentored. I can see the stars and get mentored. I learned something from so many things and from so many avenues. So with that being said, you all be joyous, be free. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, put you in a box, but be who God has designed you to be. You are amazing. You are incredible with amazing, amazing gifts in you. God bless. And I can't wait to hear from the rest of you. So let the Zoom continue.
Okay, so I have both of you. Thank you, Dr. DiCarlo. Thank you for your inspirational words. Thank you for sharing so much of your poetry with us today. Thank you for the courage to put this project out into the atmosphere and to turn what was an idea into reality. So I've now pinned Carrie Flowers along with you as spotlights. And so I want you all to talk about, while you were reciting your poetry to us, Dr. DiCarlo, and I'll share the screen again so folks can see. So they were able to see the mural. And so the exhibit, the mural, and also the poetry, the poem written is on display at Gun Cotton Cafe in downtown Hopewell. I think it's 238 East Broadway, if I'm not mistaken, in downtown Hopewell. So you can walk in and engage the exhibit and really feel the presence and the power and the beauty of visual art and the spoken word, and how the two together, the words on paper and the visual art, the life that is, and collaboration, and the ship that's there, the entire exhibit. And there's some collaborative parts for the community as well. But I would like Ms. Flowers for you to share how you went about feeling Dr. DiCarlo, as she said, how you were able to sense what she wanted, and how you were able to put it so beautifully in visual form for us.
Well, when Emily approached me via telephone about the project, she also gave me her paperwork, all her ideas, and how what the project was about, in the background about the beginning of the city of Hopewell and the ship and all those things, and what she wanted to portray in her poem. I kind of, when somebody presents an idea to me, I would like all that background information so I can get a feeling of what they're trying to show. So when she gave me her information, I read it over that night, and it kind of gets ingrained into my psyche. So that's how I started the project. And it's like things fell in place. I told Emily, a lot of the time when I'm doing artwork, it's almost like it goes, outside of my body. It's almost like a connection to the powers that be, that put things down on that canvas for me. Because I can look at a piece of work after I finished it, and I'm like, okay, where did that come from? Because you don't even feel it while you're doing it. So, or don't know it while you're doing it. You'll feel the connection, because sometimes I can get into a piece of artwork and I can get tired, and it's like a block comes. So I go away from it and come back, and I can feel that connection come back to me. So when Emily gave me her material, and it was supposed to be it was supposed to be a mural on one of the buildings downtown, and that didn't work out, which was fine because it's wintertime, and it would not have been fun trying to paint that mural on the side of walls. So I told Emily, well, I'd work better if I just had a big piece of plywood. So I went to the hardware store, got the big piece of plywood. Then I told Emily, it would really be much better if I could do it on canvas. And I by chance had a roll of canvas that I've had for years, because as I go to my little places, I pick things for artwork. So I used that and I put it on the plywood. So when Emily, and just the fact that, you know, just the information in her paperwork, she talked about the city of Hopewell and how it started with the different races. And in my mind, the main thing that comes into my mind is that the Native Americans were down here in City Point, where I, you know, grew up at, which was part of my family. So that's why he basically was the center of that mural. And then all the other races and nationalities that are part of Hopewell, they all blend together. And through that mural, as it goes down, you can see where it slowly goes down into a multitude of people and all the races and nationalities. So that's why I was saying, if people wanted to be a part of the mural, they could bring a little tiny scrap of material that represents them, a memory of somewhere that they wore this, you know, piece of scrap, you know, fabric to, something that would represent them. And it could be in bed, it could be put into that mural, because a lot of my artwork, I do incorporate material into the actual paintings. So because I have other paintings that's in Kim Bennett's place, the little restaurant on 15th Avenue. And if you see them, most of the paintings, they all have fabric within them. So that's basically how, you know, I just wanted to show, be the visual for Emily's vision. So that's how it came about. The ship in the city of Hopewell is represented in the picture. You know, that's the what's the steering thing for the boat? What do you call those things? The but anyway, that's what's represented in the center of the picture, and the H is in the center of that the steering thing for the boat.
Okay, excellent. So, beautiful. Thank you so much. And so I do have the picture of the mural and Dr. DiCarlo and the poem as on display in Gun Cotton. And so I think before you had mentioned, as far as bringing the fabric for the community to be able to share in this, I think if I understood correctly, the images of all the people that are beneath the steering wheel there, is that where you're planning on placing pieces of fabric?
Yeah, it would be blended into all the little tiny figures at the bottom. So the piece of fabric can be just about as big as your finger, a small tip of your finger. It's not a large piece, just a tiny piece of fabric.
Okay, excellent. And when you go into Gun Cotton and you see the mural and the poem, there's also a plexiglass podium that's all the way in the corner on the right. I think Dr. DiCarlo has planned that you can put your fabric in the little piece under there if you get there, or she may have a box or something that's there, but you can certainly leave your piece of fabric on that plexiglass podium, and it will be gathered and added to the piece, as Carrie Flowers has said. So I have to say, Ms. Flowers, that being a part of this project, part of the blessing has been to meet you and to know that such a brilliant artist, and I have to say, such a brilliant African-American female artist, visual artist, is right there in Hopewell. And so we always find the community treasures as we progress through the work. And so it's a privilege to meet you. And thank you so much for sharing your work. And we just look forward to seeing more of your work in the future in more public spaces. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, that concludes our program for today.
Katina?
Yes.
There's a question in chat concerning the viewing of the mirror, the hours for the viewing of the mirror.
Excellent, excellent. Gun Cotton's hours right now are 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you would have to, you can just walk right in. Let me, as a matter of fact, I'll share my screen again so that you can see. Okay, so there is a picture of taken outside of Gun Cotton Cafe. And you'll see in this photograph where the Hopewell Portrait Project is. In that same space currently is the You&Me2 project. So the Hopewell Portrait Project was up in January, and the You&Me2 project has been up in February. So where you see that is where the You&Me2 project currently is displayed. You can walk in. It's very open. If you want to take pictures with it, you can, because it is in that space, and that is an open space. There's no seating there at the cafe currently. So you can walk in, get yourself some coffee, a pastry, and just really enjoy the aesthetic that it brings to the space. And there is adequate space in there with the event space in Gun Cotton and the coffee shop area. And also the area that was formerly the gallery has been set up now with the new owners as a sitting area. There's ample space for social distancing so that it's a nice, healthy environment. You don't have to worry. So that's where it is. And the hours of Gun Cotton currently, I believe, are 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. They definitely close at 1 p.m. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Ruth, for alerting me to the chat.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions that I missed in the chat or anything else? Thank you.
I had one, not a question, but I had just a couple of things to say. Very
Yes,
brief.
ma'am.
Yes, I just wanted to thank everybody again. And I wanted to mention phase 3 is coming up. So look for that on the You&Me2 project page. It is coming up. You will find out what that's about. Briefly, I will tell you that it is the part of the project, an interactive part, where you will be able to come downtown. We will give you the date, and we will have chalk for you, and you will be able to write on the sidewalk in front of the Gun Cotton coffee shop, and you will be able to put your sentiments, your hope, your dream. You can use those words if you would like. Hope, the hope that you have for Hopewell and for the surrounding cities, states, in the world. You can write a message to people out there with your chalk. You can draw a picture, whatever you would like to do, doodle, put your stamp on Hopewell with your chart. And your canvas is the sidewalk and even the street, if we are able to kind of block that off for a brief moment in time. But we want you to come down, and we want your 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 cents too. So it is an interactive project, and we want to see you, want you to share, and then take pictures so we can put it on the You&Me2 page, because it is all about you and me. And also, I want to share that about the box, as the artist Carrie L. Flowers said, where you can put your thumbnail scraps of cloth, pieces of your life, something maybe that you wore, just take a little piece of it so it can go in the box, and Carrie will include it in her collage, in her mural. So you are invited to do that. The box will be there today. I'm going downtown today to the Gun Cotton, but I hope that you will do that. Include yourself. You are a part of this revitalization of Hopewell. You are a part of this new spirit, the spirit of love, the spirit of joy. So please do that. Thank you so much, Katina, for allowing me to speak again, giving me that privilege. And I also want to mention the people that I think I didn't mention earlier. Thank them. I think Ruth, I didn't mention her. And Charita, I don't think I mentioned you, but you all are very special to my heart also. each and every one of you who's on this Zoom live today. God bless you. And thank you again, Katina.
Thank you, Dr. DiCarlo. And thank you. Absolutely, you can speak. This is your program. I'm just here to help out any way that I can and support you and your brilliance and all that you bring to the city and to this region and of course to the world. Thank you so very much for the privilege of being the host today. I too am extraordinarily grateful for this privilege and to work with Dr. DiCarlo. Thank you so much to everyone who has shared their magic and majesty and majesty with us today. Thank you so much. It has been just an honor and a privilege to be here. I am so grateful, so grateful. I think that I'm trying to think there was something that I wanted to say, but it has slipped my memory. And so I'll think of it as soon as we hit end, undoubtedly.
Katina,
Yes.
did you already invite us to First Friday Freedom?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Ruth. I appreciate that. We will have First Friday Freedom on Friday, March the 5th. That is the First Friday event centered in downtown Hopewell. We hope to be back in person soon in a socially distanced way. Until then, we will be live on this YouTube station, KMOS Presents. And if you also would do us the favor of liking the video and also subscribing, we'll also make sure that this video is present on Dr. DiCarlo's page as well, so that folks can visit her page and see the video also. But please, our First Friday Freedom is Friday, March the 5th. We'll be at 7:30 live on this YouTube station, KMOS Presents. Also, this is the first time I'm announcing it. We're gonna also, the team at KMOS Presents has been preparing a Go Forth Friday event. And we've been working diligently to get that launched here during Black History Month. So I'm very excited. So you will hear about that as the week progresses. And the last Friday of this month, we're still gonna do it. Our team here at KMOS Presents has been working diligently to bring forward Go Forth Friday. It's gonna be a youth-centered, youth-based program that will highlight youth advocates. It will highlight youth activity in the entire region. So we're looking forward. We'll be able to announce who our guests will be. It'll be just a 30-minute program that airs every fourth Friday to be a resource to youth advocates, parents, about programming opportunities that are available for youth in the Richmond and Tri-Cities area. So KMOS Presents Go Forth Friday is coming forth and coming forward and will be right here on this YouTube channel. KMOS Presents the fourth Friday of the month, also at 7 or 7:30. Thank you so much for the privilege. I also want to go back and give another shout out to the More Legacy Foundation. When we have these programs, we are able to come here and utilize a hardwired internet connection, which gives us the bandwidth that we need and also the level of technical support that is necessary. So thank you to the More Legacy Foundation for being a sponsor today, and always to the team at KMOS Presents for your support and your help with every single event. Dr. DiCarlo, thank you again so much for the privilege and honor of working with you in this collaboration. We do want to also recap and say that the You&Me2 project has been made possible by an Arts in the Streets grant from the Hopewell Downtown Partnership, which is through the sponsorship of Culture Works Richmond. Thank you so much to everyone who has graced the stage today. We look forward to next time and to phase 3 of the You&Me2 project. Happy Saturday, everyone. Peace, shalom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Bye.